All right, hello and welcome to Week 11 matchup. We got the Cowboys 5-4 versus the Lions 4-5. Both very good teams, kind of right in the middle of the pack right now, looking to break away and make a playoff push. First up, we have the away Cowboys with Van Flank, just coming off a win earlier today, a big win by him that was also broadcasted. Then we got Aries on the Lions, who's been pretty dominant at points this year, but hasn't put it all together. What do you expect to see in this matchup?
Well, first off, we got both teams that love to run the football. I know that Aries has been a big fan of the running back that he's drafted. He did get hurt, but he has a couple decent guys underneath him. I know he's trying to see some big games from them. And of course, on the Dallas sideline, you have Carl Mills, arguably one of the best running backs in the XCFL right now. He's putting up an absolutely monster season. Uh, you really love to see that from one of your younger players. He's currently fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth in the league right now with 902 yards and 13 touchdowns, which are eighth in the league for yards, and then tied for second in touchdowns. So he's definitely up there in the elite backs.
Yeah, for sure. He has been impressive this year. But one thing to note about the Cowboys' run first mentality is the injury to DK Metcalf that I believe they suffered somewhat early in the season. Can you speak on how that's affected them so far?
I definitely can say that it's made them more run happy. They don't seem to trust their passing attack as much. Surprisingly, the defense is really, well, unsurprisingly, I guess, the defense has really showed up to play big, especially against the Vikings. They scored two of the touchdowns, and the offense only scored actually 10 points. So the defense outscored the offense in that game, which is pretty rare to see. You're going to have to see the defense show up big again against Aries. He doesn't have as explosive of an offense, but he's got guys like Antonio Callaway and a couple other guys in his passing attack that can really try to stretch the field in ways like that.
And with what he lacks in weapons, Aries, I play him every game, every year in the preseason. We are always the first game. He's always available after draft night. But one thing I've noticed is that he's really able to utilize different concepts and incorporate his quarterback speed at times to really open some holes up for his running game and his passing game at times. So I'm curious to see if that kind of stalls the pass rush a little bit that's been so vaunted this year for the Cowboys with DeMarcus Lawrence and everything. And I do believe the Cowboys do lead the league in sacks at 44 right now. So I'm curious to see if Aries is going to be able to do any of that in this game.
And what's a really interesting thing to watch is how he uses the off-ball linebackers and blitzes. I'm talking about the Cowboys. Leighton Vander Esch has almost 10 sacks on the season, and Payne, another off-ball linebacker, has 8. So really look to see how he's going to bring a lot of blitzes. He's going to be aggressive. He trusts that secondary led by Tevin Lamb, one of the major players on that back line. He's the free safety, picked him a few years back. You really love to see that from your back end. He's strong safety, Tevin Lamb, 26 years old, 88 overall, looking like a real stud here for that secondary.
For sure, for sure. And I think these teams are about to kick off, so we're going to head down to the field. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
YouTube, and you're
All
streaming
right.
to it.
Yeah. Hello and welcome. Here we are. Cowboys will get the ball to receive. And starting at their own 24, let's see if this Cowboys offense get anything going early. We do know that their defense has been carrying them, but let's see if their offense can kind of set their defense up nicely. First and 10, high formation set. They hand it off. Breaks to the outside. Tries to truck him in and does eventually get brought down for a 12-yard gain. Mills with the first touch of the game goes for 12 yards. Nice opening play here to start this drive.
And I love Van. You know, me and Van are pretty good friends. I'd like to say we've known each other for a while here in the league. One of the first guys that greeted me, and when I came in the door, he was the Browns actually at the time. He's I love to joke that I never give him any compliments, but you got to give him a compliment here. Great vision with his running back and gets a great, fantastic game.
And just as you say that, Mills tries to break it out to the outside again on a stretch play, but this time the Lions were there for it. Stops him for a 3-yard loss. So now puts his Cowboys into a deep second and long, and maybe they're going to try and pass the ball here, which they really haven't been very confident in. And this is when Dak Prescott makes mistakes.
I would 100% agree with that. You know, I'll probably joke with Van and say he messed up there. You know, just as I give it, you can take it.
And just as I say that, he hits had a big hit that finished that play off. I believe that was Michael Gallup. Nope, Zach Hatchett, same number. You never know with these new players. But Zach Hatchett, right over to the middle there on that angle route, gets a nice first down. Dak Prescott did a nice job. Notice the blitz. Notice the man coverage. Got his man on the man breaker route. 1st and 10. Drag route to number 86. Goes to the outside and gets finally brought down for about a 9-yard gain here. Brings up to 2nd and 1. So far, a nice drive going now for the Cowboys.
And you like to see your quarterback come out, get confident, drop a few easy little passes, and get your offense moving.
2nd and 1. They hand it to... Oh, and he tries to break some tackles. Almost does struck off some wimpy tackles, but is finally brought down for a 1-yard loss. Mills unable to get across that line. So brings up a big 3rd and 2 just outside field goal range here.
So there's the Vegas over-under. It does, in fact, take over 2.5 tacklers to take down Mills. So you need 3, not 2, but 3.
Ooh, and this time they do bring him down, but he's able to lean forward for that 1st down. Mills with that jukebox is very tough to bring down and get with 1 tackler, like you were saying. You do need about 2 or 3. You're not going to let him, stop him for negative yardage or stop him for no yardage if it's just 1 tackler.
It's mind-blowing because he's a power back turned jukebox. You hate to see it.
1st and 10. Run the outside. Mills again. This time a nice tackle by the defensive tackle there. Only a 2-yard gain, but still rolling now, this Cowboys offense at the 38-yard line.
Like I said, you hate to say it, not necessarily for the offensive side. You love to see it if you're Dallas, but defensive guys get terrified when they know a guy can truck you and juke you, very similar to a Darius Geis type player with the elusive and the power.
2nd and 8, bunch to the left. Toss play to Mills. Mills tries to get around. He does not, and he's stopped. What a tackle in the open field there by number 31. And that'll be a 1-yard loss. Fox on the tackle there. What an open field tackle there. You usually don't see that often when most in the open field.
And you love to see the Detroit defense playing with the support of the crowd. They're roaring. They love it. They want to see this team come out and win some games. They haven't had the most success as of recently, but they're in a playoff picture, and this game is very critical for them, and they know it.
Big 3rd and 9. Dak Prescott in the gun. Trent to his left. Not Mills. 3rd and 9. He steps back. Here comes the pressure in his face, and he goes down. Huge sack by Newton in his face almost immediately, and Dak Prescott had no time, forced to take that sack, knocking them out of field goal range. What a play there.
And that is a huge play by the big man. You love to see it from Michael Newton. He's been here for 2 years, big defensive tackle, and a great pass rusher there on that that defensive line, the front 7.
Just what a clutch play there. Your defense needs to stop early to try and keep momentum. You have home field advantage right now. You don't want to give up an early touchdown. Huge sack. And here goes the Lions now. 1st and 10 at their own 20. Pistol set. Mariota drops back. He's got plenty of time all the way to throw. Oh, and he throws it over the middle. Almost makes the catch there, but unable to haul it in. Had all the time in the world, even with that pass rush, but forced to check it down. Receiver couldn't come up with the grab.
We're going to see how this offense fares against this vaunted Dallas defense. They are a little old, as I've given Van Heck for, but they can still play.
Hand off to Johnson. Johnson up the middle. He jukes and is able to get what he can there. 4-yard gain. Brings up in 3rd and 6.
You got to get the running game going too. Got to keep this defense honest. You don't want them to just back up and start playing the pass because that's when they're most dangerous.
3rd and 6. Mariota in the gun. Throws it to the out route, and it's caught for a 1st down. Big throw and completion. Just enough for that 1st down, and this drive will stay alive.
And that's a great haul in by one of the guys you got to see some plays from. He's a veteran. He's been in this league a little bit. You want to see those catches. Those are the ones you got to haul in here on 3rd down.
And it was a big 3rd down catch. Good read there by Mariota. Way to stand in the pocket strong. The pressure wasn't there. Got a nice read off. 1st and 10. I formation set. Johnson in the backfield. They fake it to Johnson. Here comes play action. Van Der Esch is right in his face. Nothing there as the blitz comes strong and fast. Van Der Esch not fooled by that play action.
And that's what I'm talking about. He uses these off-ball linebackers really well, basically as almost like a 3-4, where you've got the guy on the line. He kind of comes off that edge. That's where this Dallas defense is the most dangerous because they'll get you into that 2nd and long and they know you're passing.
2nd and 17. Very long here. And he will drop back to pass. Mariota over to the middle, and it's caught! What a catch! Had a defender in his face. Mariota throws it over the top to Zay Jones, and he makes that grab for 28 yards.
Zay Jones had a real career revival here in Detroit. Not really much to speak of in anywhere else he's played. I know he played in Buffalo before, but here in Detroit, he's become a fan favorite and a great redemption story here in the XCFL.
1st and 10. Dallas showing the blitz here. Loading this box. Here's the snap. Mariota in the gun. He's looking. He's got time again. Throws it to Hockenson. Hockenson jukes. Oh, and almost gets that first down marker. Good effort by Hockenson. That'll bring up a 2nd and inches.
You love to see a little bit of sauce from your power guys. And they can make a man miss, and that is not an easy man to make miss. That was Leighton Vander Esch on the huge hit stick and turns into a whiff stick as Hockenson makes him look silly.
2nd and inches. Johnson in the backfield. Single back set. Hockenson to the right. They hand it to Johnson up the middle. Johnson's going to get what he can, put his head down, and get that first down. So this drive that looked like it was in some trouble at a 2nd and long, had a 3rd and 6 somewhat long, able to keep this drive alive, and here they are marching on the doorstep.
That's kind of where you wonder if it's DeMarcus Lawrence getting a little older. Back in his younger years, he probably would have made that tackle.
And just as you say that, DeMarcus Lawrence gets in there and stops that run almost immediately for a 1-yard gain. But yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence, they've dropped back to pass a few times already, and the pass rush really wasn't as dominant as the stats kind of make them out to be. So I'm curious to see if the Lions made some adjustments and saw something on tape. And then right now, this pass rush is really just not getting there. 2nd and 9. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Close game so far. Both teams marching down, but no points in this one as the Lions do have the ball here. 2nd and 9. Single back set. 2 wide receivers. And here's the stretch play to the outside. Hits the out to space. Juke move up to the middle. And he puts his head down. I think he gets the first down. He does. And that's the other Johnson with that run. And a nice juke move to bring it back up the middle there. Did not have that outside gap. And he's able to get what he can and get a first down.
Johnson & Johnson Law Firm. These two, you got the thunder and the lightning, so to speak. And that's exactly what you want to see from your power runner. Get some good yards on the play.
Hockenson to the right on the flat route, but I think it's going to be coming back here on a hold. Yep, it does. And they had the blitz coming, the zero blitz there. Nice read by Mariota to get it out, but unfortunately they had a holding call. So another long set of downs coming up here for this Lions team.
You hate to see it. Your offense is doing well at home. You want to see him, and you don't want to see a holding penalty, especially this early on. It is the second quarter. You don't want to hold yourself back like that.
1st and 20 coming up. Single back set, 3 wide receivers. Mariota's going to drop back. Got time again to Hockenson. Hockenson with the grab. Nice catch in traffic there. Brings up a 2nd and 7. Makes this a much more manageable set of downs.
T.J. Hockenson has quietly become one of the more dangerous tight ends in the league. The NFC North will definitely know about him, but around the league, he isn't as heralded as you would expect for a good tight end.
No, he's not like a George Kittle. He's not a Zach Ertz, but he's definitely more than serviceable as he makes another grab there. 2nd and 7. Handoff to the left. Got some space. Is unable to get around the outside. It's a nice tackle there by Van Der Esch, and the safety brings up another 3rd and long here.
And I believe that's Ty Johnson on the carry. You want to see a little bit more zip and speed from him. He's got the 92 speed, 94 acceleration. Kerryon Johnson is the power back. Those two have kind of spelled the loss of Travis Randall. He's a huge speed guy, 96 speed. That's pretty crazy for a running back at 24 years old. He was a big loss for this team.
3rd and 8. And here's the angle route to Johnson. This time makes up for it. Shows that zip there. Is able to haul in a nice grab there for a 14-yard gain with traffic in his face. What a catch.
On the bright side, it certainly makes announcing much more easy when you can just say Johnson and you assume that one of these lines is going to be Johnson. There's got a couple Johnsons on this team, and they're both good.
And here's the other Johnson, Kerryon Johnson, with a nice Run up to the right side there for a 6-yard gain. Yeah, you kind of just say Johnson. As long as you know it's a running back, you're pretty much just safe to say Johnson.
And they have it's ironic. They actually have a Johnston on their roster as well. They got Deacon Johnston, Ty Johnson, and Kerryon Johnson. They love their Johnson and Johnstons here in Detroit.
2nd and 4. Sutton, the man in motion, I formation set to hand it back to Kerryon. Kerryon with a huge hole, trucks a man and gets in. What a carry by Kerryon Johnson himself, the other Johnson, as he brings that in for a touchdown. What a run.
Johnsonception. We got Johnsons everywhere. Johnson's catching passes. Johnson's rolling dudes over. And there it is. He does his best Carl Mills impression as he slams into the end zone for the first score of this game.
14-play, 7-minute drive there, resulting in 7 points. If that is not a momentum swing, I don't know what is. What a drive by the Lions. And here comes the Cowboys. Bit of a disappointment in the last drive. They had something going there, but a huge sack by Newton knocks them way, way out of field goal range. So they'll look to rebound on this one. Mills in the backfield. I formation set. Prescott fakes it to Mills. He's looking. He's got a man over the middle. And it's dropped. That was McLaurin in the slot there. Thought he had him for a second. Dak Prescott pulled the trigger a little late. Maybe a little nervous now. He's been on the sideline a lot. Not really in a rhythm right now. This brings up a 2nd and 10.
Terry McLaurin, he's definitely got wheels. He's 28 years old, been in the league a few years. Came over from Washington in a trade a few years back. McLaurin's seen a few different destinations, actually. He's been started in Washington, went over to Los Angeles, was in Carolina, and now he is currently in Dallas.
Ooh, and another big stop there by Newton. Mills had a hole there, but Newton just kind of shrugs off the wimpy blocker there. The center, number 77, is able to get in there and stop him for no gain as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
And I know for a fact these Detroit Lions fans love their defensive line. It's one of the better defensive lines in the XCFL. Got Michael Newton, and of course, the one and only Josh Allen on the edge. Great finesse moves, great block shedding. That guy, he is the stud, but Newton may be the more talented one of the two.
Ooh, and a big throw over the middle. I think it's Ridley there on that post route. Dak Prescott standing in there strong against that pass rush and delivers a strike over the middle.
Speaking of guys they love, here's another one. Ridley, absolutely just Van will gush over this guy till the cows come home. He loves having Ridley back there.
Play action to Mills. Prescott with time. He's going to Ridley. Ridley, does he bring it in? No, he's out of bounds. Almost brings it in. Thought he had him there. Unable to get those feet down. So this is you were talking up Ridley. Kind of misses a catch there. It looked like it was kind of catchable.
And the Cowboys have had a few questionable calls on the sideline. They had a few good ones against the Vikings. They didn't get one there.
Ooh, and a big sack. That's Quandre Diggs right up the middle there. 0 blitz. Prescott didn't see it in time, and the sack is there. And that's another huge sack by this Lions team in a key situation towards midfield. Brings up a 3rd and 18.
Some have questioned whether the 32-year-old Quandre Diggs can still move at all. And it is definitely worth questioning. He has 84 speed. He's definitely regressed from where he was at the beginning. But there's a huge play on 2nd and 10 to force a 3rd and 18.
3rd and 18. Over the middle of the Ridley grabs it. Oh, and a fumble. A huge hit stick. And he had the first down. He is still going. And they finally bring him down. Ridley makes a spectacular catch right over the middle, but right into traffic as he is just demolished. Drops the ball, and Lions have it now. Midfield, perfect field position. What a turn of events.
I couldn't see who the safety was that laid the boom, but I think it was Tavarius Moore. Great player, got a lot of hit power, and Anthony Averett picks it up and takes it a few yards, a little bit past the 50.
What a hit. It just, it's one of those things which is, he really got the animation. He had that catch. Looks like he's going to get the first down. No, hit stick, fumbles, and now here come the Lions. 2nd and 6 now after Kerryon Johnson carry. Bunch to the right. Mariota steps back. He's got a man. That's Zay Jones over the right side. Lions are feeling it now as it brings him to the 36-yard line. Mariota 6 for 7, 82 yards. and over 100 yards already for this Detroit offense.
That was a beautiful pocket there by the Detroit offensive line. Fantastic way to just give Mariota the time. Totally clean pocket. You love seeing that seal, all five guys playing in unison.
Mariota steps back and a huge sack there. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning, but another zero blitz. This time it finally gets home. And I think that is the first sack of the game for the Cowboys, who lead the league. You don't see that too often from them, but finally they got one there as it brings up a 2nd and 19.
Oh, I'm done complimenting people. Every time I compliment somebody, the next play they screw up huge.
The next play they prove you wrong.
Offensive line, yeah, no, I'm jinxing them terribly. I'm just going to say that everybody's terrible. Van, you're terrible. You're never going to win this game. No chance. Neither are you, Aries. You're both going to lose somehow. The whole game's just going to explode, and Madden's going to fail forever.
Just as you say that, a huge throw over the middle, and that is a long completion to Antonio Callaway for 31 yards. Another zero blitz. This time does not get home and gets picked up again by this Detroit offensive line. And a huge throw there by Mariota.
Love to see it. There's Callaway, one of the better receivers. I'm afraid to say his name, but I got to. He's just such a good player.
Oh, what a pick! Oh, my goodness. And he's going to take this to the 40, to the 30. Does he have enough? To the 20. 10-5 touchdown. Wow. Jalen Smith on the interception. Mariota tries to fake the bubble screen, goes back over the middle, and there he is, Jalen Smith, waiting for that interception and takes it all the way to the house. Wow.
I'm just glad that he wasn't throwing to number 81 there. He was throwing to number 80, so it wasn't Antonio Callaway, or else I would have jinxed him into that. So it appears the jinx might have been broken.
I don't know, because he just talked up his team, and he talked up Antonio Callaway, and then the very next play, pick 6.
It's terrible. I just got to say nothing. I got to sit here and just stare at the beautiful game and let them do their things, or maybe it's just Madden telling me that I should just continue to be a cynical person.
Or you could just talk up Van this whole time so he gets the jinx.
That is a good idea. You know what? I think Van is going to be the Super Bowl champ this year. I really am. I really do. I really think it 100%. We've already called it.
Oh, and a flag comes in. It's intercepted. I think that might be a pass interference. It is. Tevin Lamb to pass interference. And right now, that Super Bowl prediction not looking too hot. It's a huge...
He was the only member of the Dallas secondary that I specifically mentioned by name. Oh, dear.
1st and 10, shotgun set, Mariota. 1:11 left to go in this half. Detroit trying to salvage something after the pick 6. And he's going deep. Oh, and it's batted away. Callaway had a step there, but Mariota kind of hangs it up there. Unable to get under it. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, that's one you're not really going to get on this Dallas secondary. They are too disciplined for that. They had 2 men on coverage there. Even if he had gotten past the receiver, he would have gotten slammed by the safety. That's a great play by a very disciplined secondary.
Yeah, you have Moore back there as well. Just both, the corner there and Moore just really fast and have good coverage skills. That's probably not going to get completed. But it looks like you have a step there. 2nd and 10. Johnson in motion. The other Johnson. Mariota empty set now. He's looking. Here comes DeMarcus, and here he goes down for a sack. Dallas is going to call a timeout, and they are reaping the benefits of this momentum right now as it brings up a very long 3rd down.
Best way to shut down an opposing team on their own field, come out and play some defense. That's a great sack by none other than DeMarcus Lawrence.
3rd and 18. Mariota steps back. Here comes the pass rush again, and he goes down again. Here is that pass rush that we were wondering where it went as Avery gets in there for a sack, was double teamed but breaks through it. And 4th and 26 coming up. Dallas with timeout and plenty of time left to try and gain the lead.
Once it starts, there's not much you're going to do about it. That defensive line is disgusting. And there it is, another sack. It's almost like a basketball team. When they start getting hot, they get a little momentum going their way. They all start making plays.
Well, you thought that maybe the Detroit team was going to be the one to do that after that huge fumble, and then they were driving, and Mariota was not making any mistakes. The offense was firing all cylinders, and just like that, A bad read turns into a pick six, and here comes the Cowboys now with plenty of time left in this half to try and go ahead. 1st and 10. Oh, and Prescott goes down. The edge blitz there by Fox. Gets around finally and brings him down for a sack. Detroit Lions defense is coming to play today.
Lincoln Fox, the veteran corner, 95 speed. He's a blazer, and he shows it there on the edge blitz.
Prescott deep, almost intercepted. Tries to hit that seam route there, and incomplete. 3rd and 18 coming up. So a huge sack there knocks this Cowboys team back, and hopefully this Lions defense can hang on and just take this to halftime tie game after that pick six. 3rd and 18. Prescott, he's looking Newton up the middle. Ooh, and it almost intercepted again. He's trying to hit Ridley on that post route. Prescott looking a little frazzled right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to force something that isn't there. I get it. It's the end of the half. You're trying to make something happen, see if you can get a good animation go your way. But in a situation like that, you don't want to throw a pick six and potentially, wow.
What a move. Wow. Yeah, he's going to have to stop after that one. I mean, they really didn't go anywhere, but he had that spin move to the right. I've never even seen that before. Almost broke that one because of it.
That was gorgeous. That was one of those moves that you kind of stop back. I mean, I've never seen that before. That was really, really nice. He got a little space and then just cut up to the edge. That was pretty.
He managed to only get about 3 or 4 extra yards there after that move, but still, that was a nice move. I'm not gonna lie. Play action.
Of course, 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, right. And that'll just about do it as Mariota completes it to Zay Jones over the middle, trying to hit that home run with the play action. Nothing there. And that'll bring us to halftime. A very wild first half, but we're tied here 7-7.
As expected, it has been a little bit of a defensive game. I didn't expect both teams to come out and start hucking the football as frivolously and freely as they have.
Yeah, we came out and predicted it to be a very run-heavy, both offenses very run-heavy, but with some injuries and some team secondaries and some sacks put into negative yardage, we've seen these quarterbacks kind of sling it so far.
And not with much success. Dallas only has 54 yards and Detroit barely over 100. You want to see a little bit more from your starting quarterbacks.
And, Mariota surprisingly has looked better here. He had that pick six, but before that, and even after that, that's his only incompletion, or actually is his second incompletion. He's been pretty good other than that interception.
I'd 100% agree with you there.
2nd and 6, stretch play. Here's Johnson. Ty Johnson jukes and just gets enough for the first down. Nice run there to the outside. Ty Johnson showing that speed on that one.
I'm not sure what happened. You saw a Dallas defender kind of fly out in the middle of nowhere to go at his ankle. I don't know if he got blocked in the back and the refs missed it or what happened there, but it was definitely a little different.
Yeah, it looked like he had that outside edge covered, but fell down or got blocked or just whiffed. So able to get that first down there. Johnson again with the carry. The other Johnson this time carry on. And that's a 4-yard gain. Right now, Lions now coming out with the run-first approach here in the second half.
I like that little cut to the inside. It was a pretty little move to spin off that lineman, get upfield, get a 4-yard gain instead of maybe go down for about no gain.
2nd and 6. Here comes the blitz. It throws over the middle. Zay Jones, another huge grab, and the blitz was picked up again beautifully as Mariota had time. This vaunted, very infamous zero blitz that the Cowboys like to run, so far it really hasn't gotten home.
You got to pass fast. You got to make your reads quick, and it looks like Mariota's starting to get it down.
Oh, just as you say that, you're jinxing him again as Marcus Lawrence comes off the edge, unblocked almost, and that's a huge sack. It seems like when these teams get to this point in the field, they just kind of stall with some kind of sack or negative play, puts them behind the other side of midfield.
This is a play where I would recommend running. I would try to reestablish the run game. Use a zero blitz, probably won't do too well on some edge runs. Try to see what you can do here.
And they don't do that. They throw deep to Antonio Callaway on the post route. Nothing there. Has good coverage, knocks that ball away. 3rd and 17.
That's why I was suggesting the run is I want to get a little bit more yards, make it more manageable on third down. You're not going to get it all in one play like that. This defense is just too disciplined for that. You're not going to get that play. So I don't know if they'll go for a screen here. There are no plays in an offense's repertoire for 3rd and 17.
Here they go. Here comes Lawrence over the middle. Forces him to throw that earlier than he wanted to. It looked like he had Zay Jones for a second. But back to that second down call where you were calling for the run. I'd have to agree with you. Not only was it a situation where you don't have a play for 3rd and 17 if you incomplete it or if something doesn't go your way, but DeMarcus Lawrence's X factor was lit up after that sack. You want to try and get that down, and maybe a run up the middle for 10 yards gets that down, and that third down becomes so much easier to try and manage, and maybe you get back into field goal range too.
Oh yeah, an unstoppable force is just hands down the better of the pass rushing archetypes because they fly through, don't even get touched, and the best pass rushers have it.
Ooh, Ridley, is he gonna go? No, he does not. Wow, what a spin move there. Prescott with the out route to Ridley. Ridley spins back inside, has the defender whiff and fly out of bounds. And that is a huge chunk play to start this drive.
That's exactly why Dallas loves their receivers. A lot of sauce, a little shake and bake action there from Calvin Ridley.
And Mills now getting the carry, and now the Dallas offense has all their weapons usable here as, they can kind of mix things up. Throw a little bit of this, throw a little bit of that. Some Ridley, some Mills. And here they go. 2nd and 4, I formation set at the Detroit 29-yard line. Prescott going back to pass over the middle. Oh, and it's knocked out. Good play there by the safety, number 3.
Anthony Averett, great play there. You want to see him make some plays. You want to watch him.
Well, he had that fumble recovery early in that first half there, and almost brought that back for some decent yardage. But he's been making some plays so far. As he makes another one, was that him again? No, okay, that was not. But that was a big third down stop there. Tries to run it to Mills up the middle, but finally one of these teams is able to stay in field goal range, and they're going to try this field goal here at the 27-yard line.
And it's a great stop here by Detroit. You can't give up a touchdown. Your offense hasn't been doing the best. You want to try and hold them to a field goal here when you've let them get this far, and sure enough, they come through.
They do come through. 10-7 is the score. Dallas up by 3. So far, we've seen a very, very defensive game. These teams have really struggled when they get to the other team's 30, 40-yard line. There's been a lot of negative plays or some plays that just stall out or some turnovers even. And right now, both teams' offenses are really struggling. I mean, the Cowboys scored 3 points there. You see 10 points, but don't forget, 7 of those was from a pick 6. So other than that pick 6, the Cowboys' offense really hasn't done anything.
I would agree 100%. The defense of the Detroit Lions is playing really well. You love to see that if you're the offense because it gives you a little bit of time to rest up and bails you out a little bit.
Ooh, hurdle! Oh, it's fumble! Oh, and they pick it up. The hurdle, it worked for a second, but we all know what happens. What goes up must come down. He comes down hard and gets hit and fumbles. He thought maybe the ball will roll out of bounds. It doesn't. Stays in bounds. And I think they're going to challenge something there. Maybe the recovery. But what a huge play there. Callaway had a nice chunk play there, but a costly turnover. And here comes the Cowboys again in Detroit territory.
My mind is blown. I've never seen so many huge plays like this in one game. So many just mind-blowing, evasive moves or great plays and then terrible plays.
Exactly.
All in the same play, right back to back.
And it's been a lot of defense dominating these better plays here so far in this game. As Prescott, he's going over to the middle. He's got his man Fant. That's Noah Fant. I don't know why I said Fant, but Noah Fant there. Nice catch there. Brings it to the 31-yard line. The Cowboys are driving again.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's Times New Roman Font right there. He's pretty fire. He's ever since coming over from Denver. Another guy that Dallas just loves. Very few people in the league love their roster as much as Van does. Van is one of the guys that gushes about all the players that he makes for in trades, and he's a big fan of this guy right here, Carl Mills.
Yeah, Carr Mills, another carry there. He hasn't really getting the rock a lot here, only 11 rushes. They've thrown the ball a lot in this one, but this time gets the ball and gets upfield for 9 yards. 2nd and 1. They hand it to Mills again. Mills with some space, one man to beat. He cuts to the outside, and the cornerback is able to collapse in and get him for a stop, but it brings them to the 13-yard line.
And that's one where he overcorrected. He assumed he was going to be going to the bigger side of the field. He does not. He actually goes off the weak side and gets a big gain from it.
Big gain. Mills again with the toss play, able to get about 3 yards there. Nothing too crazy, but he had a big hole there. But the defenders closed in quick. This Detroit Lions defense not giving up yet.
I want to crack jokes about Van, but that's a great play. I mean, he reads the blocking, lets the offensive line get in front of him, and makes the great play.
And there's another great play as Prescott with a perfect ball to, I believe, Calvin Ridley over the middle there. Nice touchdown, brings us to 17-7, and this momentum has really swung all the way to Dallas's favor. And Aries has got to be kicking himself right now. Some very costly turnovers has really swung the game to Dallas' side.
And Dallas really mixed it up well. It's once the momentum goes Dallas's way, they usually don't give it back. They're a very aggressive team. They're going to punch, hit you with the left hook, jab to the face, get you with the uppercut. And as soon as they got you backed into the corner, that's when they throw the haymaker to take you down. They're a very, very aggressive offense. They're always going to take shots. And once they get you down, the foot on the neck, they're going to run it with Mills till the game's over.
And they did run it with Mills. It just sets up everything very nicely for that Cowboys offense. So here goes Mariota. Mariota with a questionable throw there. Tried to fit it into Zay Jones. And Detroit, their play calling has kind of gotten in a funk here after some costly turnovers. A lot of play actions, not a lot of running the ball anymore. They're using Johnson & Johnson very well to push the ball down the field. Not able to do that. Now down 2 scores here. Mariota to throw again to the corner. Almost picked off.
You notice they've gone away from Hawkinson a lot too. They were hitting Hawkinson really well early. They were using, and it was creating mismatches for the receivers downfield because they've shifted so much to try and cover him. Right now, I think they got to go back to, like you said, the run game, and maybe try to throw a few more to Hawkinson.
Mariota to the post route. Oh, does he catch that? Antonio Callaway with the grab of the year almost. Double coverage, just goes up and grabs it. And that is exactly what this team needed, to try and spark something.
And that's the veteran savvy of Callaway, come over from the Browns. That's exactly what Aries wanted when he traded for him a year back.
And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. 17-7 is the score. Lions held scoreless in the second half so far, but do have the ball here on their own 48-yard line.
And that second half was key. Dallas able to establish a little bit of dominance, jumping out to the nice lead of 10 points. We'll see if Detroit can close it. And you want to see here on this drive at least a field goal.
At least a field goal. Try and bridge this gap to one possession gain. Oh, it's almost picked it off by Jalen Smith again. Mariota's really forcing this ball here. He's lucky not to get picked off again.
I got to say, this defense of the Cowboys is playing well, but the offense is also playing just as well and holding that pass rush back. I've watched DeMarcus Lawrence get chopped and slapped and hit by every single guy in that backfield at least 3 or 4 times, and he hasn't gotten to the quarterback yet this whole drive.
2nd and 10, shotgun set. Lions not running the ball at all, and here they do. This time to carry on with some space. Trucks and tries to get the ball out of there. There's more, but drags him down to the 37-yard line. Just as we were saying that they need to establish the run, they do, and a huge run there up the middle by Kerryon Johnson.
Looks like the jinx is gone, I would hope. But my guess would be they run it again, and it's a fumble 6 or something crazy like that. But
that'd be the Lions' luck this game, wouldn't it?
Right? Oh, man.
1st and 10, Mariota in the gun. He's looking, has time, and now he goes down. Huge sack there by Breeland Speaks. Mariota tried to step up, had a man open, and he goes down hard. Dallas now with 6 sacks. They were kind of held under wraps there early in this game. Now here they come with 6 sacks, 2nd and 15, doing what they do best.
Most of these sacks are just holding the ball too long. You got to know you're going up against a very aggressive defense. You cannot let these guys just sit back and rush you, or else you're going to get slapped all day.
Oh, and another catch there. Is that Antonio Callaway again? It is on the post route again. Just manhandling his defenders. Goes up and grabs it again. And here's this drive. Both times they get into negative yardage, and Callaway with an amazing grab keeps them in it. 1st and 10. Shotgun set at the 11. Mariota steps back. Oh, and a sack. A huge sack. You got to be able to see that blitz coming. That was obvious from a mile away there as that zero blitz came again. This time Van Der Esch with the 2nd sack of the game.
Got to get the ball out fast. I know he had Callaway again. Callaway's saying, "Give me the ball, coach. Give me the ball. They can't cover me."
They got to just keep feeding Callaway. It was Hockenson before, but Callaway's been the receiver this whole drive as it brings up a 2nd and 18. Mariota back to pass again. He's looking to the – oh, and a bad throw there. Mariota throws wild. Thought he had his man. Throws very wild. He made the right read there. Safe throw. Trying to get some yardage. Maybe cut it upfield there on that out route, but nothing there. Brings up a 3rd and 18. So if you're the Lions here, what are you calling on this 3rd and 18?
Nothing. I hate the play call. There's nothing you can do on a 2nd and 18 that helps you any more than just run the ball. You're already in field goal range. Run the ball. Maybe you'll get it closer, but 3rd and 18, no, because you might force it downfield. I think honestly, screw it. Just run the ball. Maybe a screen. Just see what you can get. Take your 3, move on and play defense. Trust your defense. They've been playing well.
They don't do that here. They go for the shot in the end zone. Almost brings it down as Hockenson still throws it into quadruple coverage. And they are lucky to get away with 3 points here. The attempt at 3 points after that drive. A lot of shaky throws by Mariota. They get it down there into this area of the field, and the kick is up and good. They get down to this area of the field, but some questionable play calls once they got to that 11-yard line. Not noticing the blitz, passing the ball on every down. They got to be a little better here down the stretch if they're going to try and tie this game.
Seems to me the being under the lights of prime time might not be what the Detroit offense was ready for. They seem to be trying to press a little bit too much. They have been making some good fundamental plays, but you've got to run what gets you here. If you want to make the playoffs, you want to win in the playoffs, you got to run the football and play defense. They got the defensive side down. We'll see if they can get the offensive side going.
1st and 10, Mills trucks a man, is brought down. Still a nice gain there, 6 yards. Mills on the outside run there. Nice little run, and that's what the Cowboys do. They get this lead, and they grind out some clock. They run the ball with Mills, and then they'll take their shot here and there to just kind of put you away. As here they go with Mills again up the middle. This time he's stuffed for a 2-yard gain. Brings up a very, very big 3rd and 2.
And that's what's kind of mind-blowing, too, is, I've been impressed personally how well the Detroit defense has played against this running attack. To live and die in against Dallas, you have to stop that man, Carl Mills, and they've done a fantastic job of that so far.
3rd and 2. Mills in the single back set. Here comes the pressure, and he goes down. There he is, Josh Allen. DeMarcus Lawrence's counterpart on the other side, finally making an impact. That's the 4th sack of the game for this Lions defense. The first of the day for Josh Allen. It could not have come in a bigger spot.
No, it couldn't have. It really was boom or bust there on that play. And I think the read surprised Van. He thought he was going to have the receiver open immediately, but the defense drops, and the linebackers are there covering his initial read. And that's a great play by a fantastic player in Josh Allen coming off the edge and making him pay.
Well, when the other team, especially in this league, has a elite pass rusher, all it takes is some slight hesitation and a slight knock off your route, and then the pass rush is there. So a really good play call by the Lions defense. 1st and 10, toss play to Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson, nothing there. And here comes the Dallas defense, stuffing him for a 3-yard loss.
And that was one where I think he had a cutback lane initially. If he had cut it immediately upfield, I think he had that. But that secondary, no, actually he didn't. I take that back. One, Donald Brown was playing so well. That's a play where you might want to go north-south instead of east-west.
Try and get what you can here. 2nd and 13. Goes into the angle route. Here's Johnson. Johnson still going, but I think this is going to be brought back. Maybe a block in the back. It's a holding. Oh, and another huge holding call against this Detroit Lions team, and they got to be kicking themselves. A lot of mistakes right now, leading to the 7-point deficit.
That's your leader. That's Laramie Tunsil. You traded for him. You want him to make plays, and that is not
at all. 2nd and 23 to the out route. Lucky again that it's not picked off. Mariota had a guy open in the flat. Just tries to take that deep shot again. Nothing there. Another 3rd and long coming up.
That almost looked like a throwback classic. You have the man wearing number 8. It almost looked like number 9 throwing to 81. Stafford to Megatron back in the day, forcing into triple coverage.
3rd and 23 to seam route. Oh, almost caught. But it's knocked out. 4th and 23. So now here they go again. The Detroit Lions defense has played great all game. Can they make another stop against this Cowboys offense?
I've been impressed with how well they kept him in check so far. I don't think any defense has played so well so far in this game, or in that I've seen against this Cowboys defense, or against Cowboys offense. Words are hard.
And the Cowboys offense is right about the middle of the pack, but they have a lot of weapons. It's definitely not, any slouch of an offense. They get the job done, and especially when their defense is getting turnovers and making big plays like they have in this game. But really, the Cowboys offense hasn't done anything. They really haven't. Mills has been held in check. Ridley's been mostly held in check. 1st and 10 screenplay, and a nice play there by Newton. Reads that all the way and breaks that play up for a 7-yard loss.
And that's thing 1 and thing 2. You got Robinson coming up the middle, forcing the pressure, doesn't have enough time to throw it, and he forces Prescott to throw it a lot earlier than he wanted to, and Newton makes the play on the other end.
2nd and 17, single back set. Mills in the backfield, 2:33 left to go. Detroit needs another stop here. They need their defense to come up big again in this one. It's a stretch play to the outside. Nice open field tackle. And Detroit's going to call a timeout just before the 2-minute warning, trying to give themselves the most time they can, as it brings up a 3rd and long.
3rd and 17 is about the best position that you could see these guys put themselves in. For this defense, you want to sit back, play everything in front of you, keep it in front of the sticks, and I think they'll do that here.
3rd and 17, Prescott in the gun. He steps back. He's got time. He's looking. Oh, almost picked off. What a play there by the defender. Able to get his hand up. He had a, if he doesn't jump that high, that ball gets through. That could potentially be a 1st down. What a play there.
You love to see it, man. These fans are just on their feet. They are thrilled to see their defense come up clutch. And what a big return here for the Lions, as they are now already in field goal position.
Huge return there by the Lions. 2:10 left to go. 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. If you're the Lions here, you got to just start running your offense the way you've been doing it all year. They really haven't run the ball. You have plenty of time here. The defense would not be expecting it. You got to start establishing that run game. Mariota does not listen. He steps back to throw it deep. Ooh, and a very risky throw again as that falls incomplete. Mariota just trying to toss it deep, and that'll activate Byron Jones' X Factor. Definitely not what we want to do here in a key situation in the game.
And that is the kind of thing that makes every single Detroit fan cringe. You feel the cringe right now. It is absolutely brutal.
Mariota looking, throws it to the in route. Oh, and a big hit there by Van Der Esch. That'll bring us to a 2-minute warning and a 3rd down. 3rd and 4 coming up. Finally takes the check down. Makes this a very 3rd and manageable.
3rd and manageable. That is not a phrase we've said very much today, have we?
Not guys at all. Either side, really.
3rd and 18. Yeah, these defenses are just forcing them into terrible situations.
Oh, and the angle route, Ty Johnson with another huge catch as he goes behind him. Mariota threw it behind him. A terrible throw, if I'm going to be frank here. But Ty Johnson able to turn his head, go around behind him, and grab that for a 1st down. And the clock is ticking. 1:38 left to go. Mariota steps back. He's looking to the corner route and a catch. A huge catch there as the defender kind of just stood there.
Somebody explain to me what was that man thinking?
Just kind of stood there. Game in the line, and he just stand there.
If looks could kill, that man would be just dead.
And that was Perry Hightower on the catch. Here comes the run. Kerryon Johnson with space. Oh, and he finally gets brought down here. 1 minute left to go, and here are the Lions at the 8-yard line.
I love the run call here. Now, Kylo, I've got a question for you. You love how you're playing. Are you just going to kick a field goal here? Touchdown?
I don't know. I don't think so. And he tries to run it again. And it brings up a 3rd and 4. Detroit not calling a timeout here. Trying to use up all this clock. Do not want to score and leave any time on the clock for the Cowboys. Mariota in the gun. Carry on to his left. 20 seconds left to go. Mariota changing his formation up. Clock is still ticking. 15 left to go. 13. Finally takes the snap. He's looking for the seam and it throws it wide. Very wild. And now 10 seconds left. 2 timeouts. They need to get this first down. Game on the line right here, right now. 4th and 4.
Kind of brutal clock management. It was 3rd down. I know you want to try and run the clock, but
a little bit too much there, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the time to do it. On 1st down, maybe. Yeah, but 3rd down, no. I think you need to go ahead and try to get the first, because if you don't get it here,
ooh, that's close. That's close. They do have the first down. 4 seconds left to go. They call a timeout.
Yeah.
But with that clock management, you only have time for maybe one play. I mean, one play to fully develop. 2 plays if you throw 2 quick passes.
Yeah, but again, if it's incomplete on the first one, you wouldn't need timeout.
True.
Yeah, it's really tough. That was a tough one. I think he kind of overthought it there. Maybe trusted his offense a bit too much.
1st and goal. 3 wide receivers to the left. Mariota, prime time. They hand the ball off to Johnson, and that's going to bring us into the game. Are you serious? Talk about overthinking it as the Coach Aries slams his clipboard down in frustration, and rightfully so. What an ending to the game. Disappointing ending for the Detroit Lions.
He gets the Andy Reid. That is tough. That's a tough one to watch. You hate to see it if you're a Detroit fan. Every single fan in this building was just so frustrated.
Your defense plays so well to get you in this position. Holds the offense to maybe 10 points total after the pick 6, 10 points. And here you are with the ball in the red zone, 40 seconds and counting, 40 seconds or more and counting, on 3rd down and 4, and you won the clock all the way down. And then with 4 seconds left in the game and a timeout, you overthink it or maybe call the wrong play, and that's it. You get taken down, no time left.
It really was weird. It was like he seemed surprised that a run call was that there was a run. Like the running back got the ball and he was like, "What? What? I didn't expect to get this." And he just kind of like ran into the middle of nowhere and goes down. I don't know. Very, very, very odd. And hats off. Gotta say hats off to Callaway. Callaway made some fantastic catches. 28 years old. That guy is a monster. Just mossing everybody in sight, making those huge body catches. And it just wasn't enough.
If it wasn't for Callaway, you're right. They really wouldn't have been in that game to begin with, the way their offense was kind of falling off in the second half. But you just kind of have to think, maybe like you were saying before in prime time, that maybe the pressure got to them a little bit. And I think it was a large part to the play calling. I don't think the players really played bad. I mean, Mariota had some questionable throws, but he's Mariota, so you kind of expect that sort of thing. But the running game was there for the Lions all game when you really did not expect it to be. And they really just didn't utilize that until, when they probably shouldn't have, the last play of the game with 4 seconds left.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you got to, as an offensive play caller, you can't keep beating your head against the wall if the wall isn't. Whenever you put yourself in 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18, 3rd and 16, these 3rd and longs over and over and over, you would think eventually on 2nd and long, you would go ahead and run the ball, get something, make it more manageable, make it less less difficult on yourself, and hopefully try to just I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one. It's a loss that's going to sting. I think Aries is going to know that when he looks back and if he doesn't make the playoffs, it'll be losses like this that are just going to sting a little bit more.
Well, that's the difference between a playoff team and a non-playoff team. It's those close games that if you've done something right here or there, you made the right call, you made one catch that you should have, or one throw that you should have. That's the difference between being in the playoffs, winning a playoff game, or winning a Super Bowl. And we've seen it time and time again. And that's just the way Madden goes sometimes, or football in general. But a very tough ending to that game. But you gotta give it to this Cowboys defense. We talked to them before, and we kind of expected that coming into this one, that the Cowboys defense was going to play above themselves or play, how they have all year. But they really came to play. If it wasn't for that pick six, that game would have been tied.
I 100% agree. There were just so many different plays. You could point to the fumble on the big catch by Cowboys. You could point to the fumble on the sideline for the Lions, the one where he just tried to hurdle, makes the nice little hurdle, and then just gets smacked and drops the ball. And the ball just kind of nicely little lands just about 3 inches. Yep, it's terrible. You just want to throw something then. But those are the plays you got to overcome. And like you said, that is the difference between your playoff caliber teams and your non-playoff caliber teams. But again, he's still got a chance. And I think Aries, if he can learn something from this L, he can turn things around this season and hopefully make a run and shot at the AFC wild or NFC wild card.
I think he can. He has all the tools and he has the ability to do so. It's just fine tuning a little bit of those things. And I think if he were to go back and watch his game, see some of the mistakes, kind of swallow his pride a little bit, go back and watch this game. I think it'll really benefit him. And it just goes to show, really those close games really do, like we said, come between playoff teams and non-playoff teams. Now the Cowboys 6-4, Lions 4-6. Coming into this game, they had the potential to be both 500 if things went one way or another. But that's just kind of the way it goes.
No doubt, man. And I think it's a big win for Van, as it is kind of difficult for the Lions to swallow. I think just as enjoyable if you're a Dallas fan tonight. You get to look at the film, go back and see what you did right, but also you got a few things you did wrong. I think you need to look, and in the same way, Darius should look at what in play calling, when to mix in the run, when to try to pass. I think Dak threw a few throws that just weren't there. If he can clean that up, I think that'll make him a much better quarterback, and this will make that whole team that much more threatening come December and January.
One more question before we get to our player of the game. If you're the Cowboys here, when you go back and you watch this game, or just knowing how the game went, are you concerned about your offense and the way it performed this one?
Absolutely. I think that, and I know Van's going to be like, oh, that's I think, honestly, you want to see more. I think that I love the way his offense played when he threw punches. I think at a certain point, though, you can't take shots if they're not there. You got to read the game better. I think early in the game, before Dallas seized control, it felt like they were kind of trying to grasp, trying to force things. But as soon as the defense, and they're a defensive team, that makes perfect sense. But as a defensive first team, you got to make plays smartly on the offensive side to let the defense force its will and to let them get established. So I think that they got a little bit lucky. I think the defense bailed them out. But it's kind of so it is a duality. You had some roughs. Good side is focus on those moments where you had foot on their neck, where you just were driving, when you were forcing your will, where you had the running back up the gut. You have a great balance. You have good receivers and a quarterback that's good enough to get the job done. He's a game manager. He's never going to be a gunslinger. Dak Prescott is a game manager. So if you use him like that, I think that you'll see a lot of success.
I couldn't agree with you more. And one more quick note before we get to our play of the game. I'd just like to point out that, their offense really, until that one turnover, that I believe it was the Callaway fumble that gave them really good field position, and they kind of scored their first touchdown after that by utilizing their weapons very well on that drive. Other than that, they really didn't, and their offense had times where they could put the game away. They could do what you were saying and put their their foot on the throat of the Lions and kind of jam it down and put this thing away. But they really didn't do that, and you want to see them be able to do that with a run first team, but not the case. Okay, so before we get out of here, who is your player of the game?
Oh man, I would have to say I'm going to say DeMarcus Lawrence. I think he led that deep. I think that his 2 sacks or 3, I don't even know how many he had. He was constant. You have to double him. He had to constantly pull in a running back. People were chipping him. By putting so much attention on a player like that, it creates lanes for the rest of the pass rushers. I got to say DeMarcus Lawrence, great game for the guy. He's still making people tremble at age 33.
DeMarcus Lawrence was impactful, but I think I'd have to go with Jalen Smith. He made a couple of key deflections, but he also had that pick six. And if you remember, before that pick six, the defense had no sacks. And that was kind of, midway through the game. The Lions were doing such a good job of stopping that pass rush, and they had a good game plan going in. And after that interception, that pick six, that really just forced their cards and made them go with outside of themselves and think too much and overthink things. And that's kind of when the game took a turn for the worse for the Lions.
I'll agree 100%. I like that. I think that pretty much you could point to about 3 or 4 guys on that
Cowboys defense. Yeah.
Just give it to the defense, period. Let's if unit that defense has just absolutely played so well.
And I think that'll just about do it for tonight. Congrats to the Dallas Cowboys. They moved to 6-4, and a really good game by Aries all the way around. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. I'm Kylo, and got Regan here in the booth with me. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Later, fellas.